Hello, hello, hello. This is Bianca Williams, therapist, coach, wife, and mom here to deliver more self-growth tips. So I'm actually happy to be here today. If you are paying attention to this on Spotify, you might notice that this is a video podcast today. If you have been following me for a while, you may also notice that there's not any music around this today. Usually when I do my video podcast, it's raw. There's no editing, there's no post-production. You get exactly what I am giving you live, right? In a sense, but a couple of weeks later. So today I want to just make a few connections. This is going to be my last episode for season 1, which I'm super excited about. I've done 10 episodes, talked about various topics, and just really excited. If you guys haven't been here before, check out my other topics. I definitely am about giving you some real stuff in the mental health, self-growth world in 10 minutes or less. And so just check me out. But I am working on something. If you have been following me on my Instagram page at Bianca Williams LPC, you see I talk a lot about just empowerment messages, about childhood trauma, inner child work. And so I'm developing something. I love that I have the opportunity to work with people that I can make a real impact with, that I care to work with, and build custom things just for you guys. So yeah, I want you to just know that, because by the time you hear this, you may notice that I am in a pre-launch phase of something that I'm working on, which means you may have access to it, or you may be able to at least start to look at how you can, get access to it, or it might be right before the pre-launch stage. And so we're real close, right? We're real close. And I just want you to know, like, where you are right now is in a sweet spot, because you get great opportunity to get into something that's very new, get an opportunity to work directly with me, and in a way that makes like long-lasting changes, sustainable changes, work that I've actually done, work that people that I've worked with have actually done. And so, yeah, just like I said, just check me out. But for today, what I'm going to talk about in this podcast is why I recommend everybody leave home, leave the nest at some point, right? Like, just get out. And when I say leave the nest, I'm talking about your city, where you grew up at, the place that feels most comfortable and familiar for you. At some point, I think that people, if you can, should leave that nest. And I'm going to get into exactly why I'm talking about that. So first of all, there is a lot of benefit to it. But if you don't leave, listen, if you're listening to this and you're like, I have never left, I don't see why I would leave, that's okay. This isn't, any digs towards anybody who doesn't leave home. I don't want you to feel like I'm coming for you, right? So this is really just a way to encourage people who are thinking about it, who've been on the fence for a while, who maybe just there's some fears built in around, like, should I not, and just understanding the benefits. So one thing about leaving the city you grew up in is that it will change your worldview. I can't say that if I could just bundle it up and put a bow on why it's important to leave, that would be the reason. And the rabbit hole goes deep in why I say that. Like, I can't explain it enough on what that means, but I'm going to get into some generalized ways of looking at what that means today. And first, I'll say cities have a culture. Cities have a culture. Being somewhere for a long time, there's a way that things are done there. There's a way people think there. And when you're super familiar with that, you just kind of fall into that. And it's not, again, this is not necessarily meaning anything negative. It just can be limiting, because that's all you know, and that's all you've seen, and that's what becomes extremely normal to you. So, but being somewhere new can give you a new sense of a fresh start, just expose you to so many different things. And so I'm going to talk about essentially 4 things that are benefits of leaving your hometown, leaving the nest. One of them is going to be freedom. One is going to be exposure. One is going to be appreciation. And one is going to be confidence. So to think about freedom, obviously leaving the nest is going to give you a totally new level of freedom. It's going to help you to learn who you are without any of the distractions of everything that's been familiar to you, everything that has been just comfortable to you. Because if you've been in one place for a long time, there is a sense of familiarity. Ooh, that's a tricky word. And being comfortable. So this is going to be something that propels you into true independence. Another reason why it's really important for you to leave home is to just get exposure. Being able to be in a new place gives you exposure to new cultures, to new people. People have stories, different stories, stories you've never heard of from various places all over the world. And so, being able to be exposed to different things will allow you to grow and expand your personal network, having new friends, new associates, and as well as your professional. You're going to have new opportunities, right? Also, you'll be exposed to new weather, right? Like new things to do. I've lived in 4 different states, and I can say no two states have been the same. And I mean, like, as far as I grew up in Michigan. I'm from Detroit. And Detroit is just, like my just call to fame, what made me, all of those different things. But I've also lived in Tennessee, Florida, and in California, and every place is very different. There's different things to do. There's different weather there. It just has a different vibe. The culture is very different there. The way people do things are very different there. And so just paying attention to that and adapting some of that and just being open-minded to that, the world consists of more than what you know. So exposure. Appreciation is a huge thing that I feel grows when you leave the nest, because you appreciate the people that you grew up with, that are in your family, a little bit more. Um, Especially the people that have been down for you, that really look out for you, that take care of you in some way. Because, and I'm not saying they got to do everything for you, but they show up, they're in your corner in some way. You appreciate them. You miss them more. You actually miss them because you're away from them for longer periods of time. You start to gain a better understanding of who they are without being so judgmental. So, as you grow, you kind of like realize people have flaws, and, maybe you don't like those flaws. But I feel like instead of focusing on that, when you leave from the place you grew up, you actually see them as a full person, and you understand them more. You kind of like step away from judgment so much. You value the unique things in your hometown, right? Like, there's something about your hometown that makes it special, in that you can only get there in Detroit. I can only get Coney Island chili cheese fries from Detroit the way they are made, and I look forward to that. There's also certain kind of pizza I get when I'm there. It's just certain things is special. Certain places I can go and only get the feeling I get when I go those places when I'm in my hometown. And so you appreciate, your hometown more. You appreciate the people there more. You appreciate your family more. And then the last thing that is a benefit of being out of the nest and just living in a different city is the confidence that you're going to gain. You're going to gain such a confidence. And so what I mean by that is, well, first of all, I talked about how you're going to get out of your comfort zone, but you're also going to become more resourceful. You're going to learn how to problem solve in a new way. You're going to be more strategic. You're going to learn how to do things independently, because you don't have somebody to just say, hey, bail me out of these situations. Sometimes you're not going to get that perfect little answer or outcome that you're looking for. And so how do you still navigate that? Well, you learn how to navigate things. You learn how to accept things. I just say you learn how to be more resourceful. You also make mistakes. I think that that's a natural part of the human experience. If you don't make mistakes, then you're not living. And so you're going to make mistakes, which is going to help you overcome certain fears. It's going to help you have some breakthroughs in limiting thinking, and it's going to help you learn to trust yourself, because the idea of making mistakes is that you can learn something new from those mistakes, something new about yourself. You can make a change with maybe how you're looking at situations, how you're operating in situations, how maybe you're making impulsive decisions, or you're not thinking about certain things. And so it's just going to widen the lens in how you look at, situations, and allow you to just develop new skills, essentially new interests. Being in a new place, it's the confidence that comes out of that is just remarkable. And when you find yourself learning how to survive in a new place, it is a sense of accomplishment that nobody can take away from you. So that's my tips on why you should leave the nest, why you should try living in a new city at some point in your life, how remarkable it can be, how it helps with your growth and who you are. And again, I just want to just go back to a lot of what I'm saying is things that we work through in what I'm building right now. So I'm actually building a package that can be accessed by people all over the world who are on their own healing journey, people who are very high achieving, people who maybe are accomplishing different goals in their life, but find themselves in a place of something's missing all the time, or I'm not quite as happy as I want to be, or something's wrong and I don't know quite how to fix it on my own. And so because I come from that world of having to just pick up those pieces and learn how to like heal and just get to that place that I can really shine and thrive in life and be in that place of peace. I wanted to build something that helps other people who are like me, going through that, who have been through things and are trying to break through some of those barriers that they find themselves in. And so I just say, like I said, sign up. If you haven't been paying attention, pay attention to your girl. I have lots of information to share, lots of tools, lots of just things that if you are serious about your own growth, you want to, this is not something that anybody else is doing in the way that I'm doing it and for the people that I'm doing it for. So that's all for now. This is, again, Bianca Williams, therapy coach, wife, and mom. You can reach me through my website, biancawilliamslpc.com. You can email me, hello@biancawilliamslpc.com. You can reach me through my Instagram at Bianca Williams LPC. I mean, I am accessible in so many ways. So if you have questions, if you are interested in more and just wanting to work with me directly, you like my vibe, you like my approach, you like some of the ways I think, definitely reach out. I am here. I'm not that person that's gonna say I'm doing all of these things and then get away from the screen and then let somebody else take the lead. I'm the one who's down there in that field with you, like, working it out and going through those tunnels and helping you see that light. And so I look forward to hearing from you. Definitely share your thoughts. Since this is my last episode, I also encourage you to reach out to me about topics you would like me to talk about in the future, things you would like to see more in my podcast in the future, and just what your thoughts were about some of the episodes you were able to hear. Thank you. Have a good one. Much love.